What is up, guys? Rick Smackus here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today it is one of the craziest weeks in Destiny 2 history, and that's because the current Nightfall, the Lake of Shadows, is dropping double loot. Grandmasters are spitting out exotics. I'm literally to the point where I'm masterworking basically every exotic I own just to store the Ascendant Shards somewhere. But remember, even the lower difficulties are double rewards, so you have a great chance to farm exotics this week. So I want to make a video for those who are farming this event on the Warlock and thinking, what are the exotics I should be going after, and what are the best stat rolls I should be looking for? Well, that's what we're going to cover, and so let's get started. But just before we do, go into that description and check out the Real Gamer Hour podcast. It's something I've started with MTashed and True Vanguard, where we talk about all things gaming. It's every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're streaming on YouTube today because MTash got banned from Twitch for 7 days. We're going to talk all about that, so definitely tune in. But let's move on to these exotics. Starting us off at number 5, we have the Crown of Tempests. Now, this may be a controversial pick actually, but it wasn't just me coming up with these. We had full debates within the clan trying to figure out what these 5 are. But the Crown of Tempests, if we look at the exotic ability, it's Conduction Tines. Arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Trance. So the Crown of Tempest is right now very underrated and underused, but it's just a phenomenal and powerful exotic in really any area of the game. It really excels in Gambit. Like, this thing can clear entire waves in Gambit. It's great for that. So if you're doing your dailies and stuff, definitely want to throw this on. But it's also good in PvP. I mean, the storm grenades are broken for Warlock, so getting way more of those for getting kills with those is great as well. And obviously in other PvE activities, a really extended Storm Trance is very powerful. So this is just something that if you're a newer player, if you don't have a ton of god tier, exotics, and you snag one of these, you are going to be thrilled. Now, what stat rolls should you look out for? Well, with this exotic, because it's all about abilities and your super, you're really trying to get max rolls of discipline, intellect, and strength. So keep an eye out for those. Moving on from there, we have the number 4 slot, and that is going to go to the Controverse Hold Exotic Gauntlets. Now, the exotic perk here is Chaotic Exchanger. Resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade with Chaos Accelerant. Feed the Void or Handheld Supernova. Charged Void Grenades return a random amount of grenade energy on hit. So, at one point, these terrorized the Crucible. Like, they were arguably the best Warlock exotic in the game for a considerable amount of time. Now, they've since been nerfed, but they're still very good. I go up against people using this, and I'm always, pretty salty about it because these are still very powerful in PvP. But in PvE, they've also somewhat recently found a home, especially with Oppressive Darkness, the seasonal armor mod, being in the mix. I have ran with a lot of people in Grandmasters using Controverse Hold instead of the traditional Well of Radiance. And the reason being is because these let you go on absolute tears with your extremely powerful Oppressive Darkness charged Void Grenades, not only getting a ton of heavy ammo if you're using armaments, but also allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with them because you get that protection, which really matters in high level content, and you're getting grenades back for getting kills. So these are actually really, really effective in high level PvE content, and that's why they're very high on this list. Great in PvP, great in PvE, definitely a high tier exotic. Now, what are the stat rolls you're looking for? Well, you do really want an extremely high discipline roll. These are all built around your grenades, so you want to be utilizing your grenades as much as possible. Discipline is where it's at. Moving on from there, we have the number 3 slot, and this goes to the Nezarec's Sin Exotic Helmet. Now looking at the perk here, it's Abyssal Extractors. Void damage kills increase ability energy recharge rate. Now very importantly, it doesn't say void ability damage, it says just void damage. So this actually will count your, Gnawing Hunger auto rifle. That's right, one of the most meta weapons in the entire game, the Gnawing Hunger, cracked out of its mind. If you use that and put on the Nezarec's Sin, you're going to get more abilities on top of getting to use that auto rifle. That is extremely, extremely powerful. So because of that amazing, pretty much passive ability, you will see this a lot in PvP, and it's great within the Crucible. But this is also great in PvE activities, especially because Devour got a buff recently where you also get grenade energy back with the Nezarec's Sin, and any weapon with Grenadier basically, you can throw a grenade, and I'm not even exaggerating, every 2 seconds or so. Like, throw a grenade, get 2 quick kills, throw another grenade. Get 2 quick kills, throw another grenade. It is truly absurd what you can do in PvE with the Nezarec's Sin. So this is just a really powerful exotic, so easy to get this bonus, useful in pretty much all aspects of the game. It is a must-have. Now when it comes to the stat roll, what you're looking for, again, because this is so abilities based, is probably intellect, strength, and discipline. But here, recovery is quite important as well if you want to use this in PvP, just because recovery is, cracked in PvP. You really want a lot of it. But it is time to move on from there to the number 4 slot, and that is the Phoenix Protocol Exotic Chest Armor. The exotic perk here is Battle Hearth. Kills and assists you make while standing in your Well of Radiance return super energy. This is kind of the last remaining of the return super energy exotics. Well, they still remain, but they've pretty much all been nerfed into oblivion, except for the Phoenix Protocol. This will give you a huge amount of your super back pretty much every time, because when are you not standing in the well you've just put down to get kills, right? You are doing that all the time. And so this is one of the go-to PvE exotics when it comes to high-level content. If I was running a Warlock in Grandmasters and farming that right now, I'd probably be using the Phoenix Protocol because it lets you get your well back pretty much every engagement. It is not difficult to get more than half, sometimes nearly all, of your super back after one big engagement. So this thing is cracked. And in PvP as well, if you do want to run Well of Radiance, especially for Iron Banner like Cap and Flags, this thing can be great as well because you are spamming wells if you're getting kills, and it's pretty easy to get kills in a well. Now, in terms of stats, well, you don't want a ridiculous amount of mobility like I somehow got here. You actually want, well, recovery is always good, but intellect. This is an exotic built around utilizing your super. The only benefits come from when you have your super, so having as high of an intellect as possible is what you want to go for. However, it's time to move on to number 1 on our list, and that has got to go to the Transversive Steps Exotic Leg Armor. So looking at the perk here, it's Strange Protractor, increased sprint speed, and after a short time sprinting, your currently equipped weapon is automatically reloaded. This is arguably the best Warlock exotic for the Crucible, period. Like, you are gonna see this more than pretty much any other exotic when you're playing PvP, and you do so for a reason. And that reason is, well, firstly, just increased sprint speed, and we saw this with the Dune Marchers. It's such a powerful ability. It lets you get to the corner, get to the hallway before your opponents, and if you can aim down sights and wait for them rather than the other way around, it gives you a phenomenal advantage. It lets you get to flags and objectives faster as well. It lets you escape faster. it's just generally such an incredibly powerful passive ability. You don't have to do anything, you just get it. But also, reloading your gun automatically is super useful as well. That can cut down on some incredibly long reloads, and that's why you'll actually see a decent amount of people running these in PvE as well. Now, I'm not claiming it to be top tier, but you can certainly do so. And being able to have, a grenade launcher or a very powerful weapon that usually takes long to reload, shoot an enemy, and when that enemy goes immune, you have to run somewhere, just run with that weapon out, it automatically reloads. That is pretty advantageous, and don't think that faster sprint speed doesn't also matter in PvE and Gambit as well. So what are you going for in terms of stats? Well, mobility isn't bad. That's going to increase your speed even more so. Recovery here, though, is really what people are looking for a very good PvP build, just because recovery is so useful. And your class ability regenerates faster with recovery as well on the Warlock. And then discipline, intellect, and strength are all decent as well. Pretty much anything other than resilience is going to be good. And so guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.